Mechanical lifts help make care easier on the client and less physically stressful for staff, thereby decreasing injuries that can result from transfers. The Vanderlift can be used to transfer clients who require high levels of care. Refer to the operation manual for client selection criteria. The Vanderlift may be used to transfer clients who weigh up to 450 pounds. Clients who have injuries or medical conditions that could be aggravated by the lifting procedure may not be lifted or transferred with the Vanderlift. This video should be used along with the Vanderlift operation manual and hands-on training led by a manufacturer's representative or by your facility's mechanical lift trainer as part of a mechanical lift education program. The video is divided into different modules. Practice the procedures demonstrated in each module with staff members until you are comfortable and confident with your ability to operate the Vanderlift safely before using it to transfer clients. Only staff members who have been trained according to the procedures in this video by a manufacturer's representative or by your facility's mechanical lift trainer may use the Vanderlift. The Vanderlift is equipped with rear caster brakes. The brake should only be used when operating the lift on a ramp or an incline. To lock the brakes, press on the back of the brake tab. To release the brakes, press on the button on top of the brake as shown. The base should be open to its widest position for all transfers. The base may be narrowed to go through doorways, but must be opened after the lift has cleared the door. To adjust the width of the base, stand behind the lift, grasp the soft rubber handle on the shift bar, and move the shift bar as shown. The pendant switch is used to raise and lower the lift. To raise the lift, press on the up arrow. To lower the lift, press on the down arrow. The pendant switch attaches to the lift with a magnetic base. The magnetic base allows you to move the pendant switch to any metal surface on the lift. The pendant switch has a red low battery light and a green battery charge light. The low battery light will shine when the batteries have used about 70% of their charge. Although enough charge will remain to do several more transfers when the low battery light is on, it is important for staff to plug in the power cord and recharge the batteries. The Vanderlift has a built-in battery charger, which works when the power cord is plugged into a standard 120-volt AC outlet. When plugged in, the green battery charge light on the pendant switch will be activated and you will hear a click, which indicates the batteries are being charged. For your protection, the lift will not work while it's charging. Be sure to unplug the power cord from the wall outlet before moving to prevent damage to the lift. Refer to the operator's manual for information on the methods that can be used to charge the batteries. If the pendant switch does not work, the emergency up-down switch located on the back of the lift base can be used to raise and lower the lift. Lift the switch to raise the lift and depress it to lower the lift. This switch should only be used when the pendant switch fails. A red emergency stop switch is located on the inside of the mast. If the pendant switch fails and the lift continues to raise or lower, push down on the emergency stop switch to stop the lift. Before transferring a client, it is important to check the sling for signs of damage, for loose and missing stitching, and for tears and excessive wear that might cause it to fail. Be sure to inspect the stitching that attaches the loops to the sling. Damaged or overly worn slings must not be used, as their use can result in injuries to the client or staff. These are examples of the types of damage to look for. It is also important to inspect the lift before transferring a client to make certain no parts are missing or excessively worn and that the lift operates freely. Make sure all nuts and bolts are present, that the lift arm hooks are not worn, that the shift bar opens and closes the base of the lift properly, and that the brakes hold the lift securely. If a problem is noted, the lift should not be used until repairs have been made by qualified maintenance staff. VanCare slings come in a variety of styles and sizes. The standard Unifit sling will be used in the demonstrations. When transferring a client using the Unifit sling, the sling should be long enough to fit from the client's coccyx to the top of the client's head, or a few inches above the top of the client's head. The sling should be wide enough for fabric to extend at least 2 inches in front of the client's anterior shoulder. When the correct size sling has been determined, the information should be documented on the client's care plan, and the information should be communicated to the nursing staff. Using a sling that is too small or too large may result in injury to the client. It is important for staff to use the correct size sling when transferring clients. Refer to the operation manual or contact your distributor for information about sizes, fabrics, and types of slings that are available. Two methods can be used to position the leg supports. Refer to the manual or contact your distributor for client selection criteria for each of the methods. Position the leg supports by lifting the client's legs one at a time and pulling the leg supports under each leg, being sure not to twist or fold the leg supports. Cross the leg loops for one leg support through the leg loop closest to the leg support on the other side of the sling. Position the leg supports by crossing each leg support under both of the client's legs, being sure not to twist or fold the leg supports. It is important for staff to attach the sling loops to the hanger bar hooks with the loops in the bottom of the hooks, as shown here. If staff do not connect the loops to the hooks correctly, injuries can result to the client or staff. It is important for staff to double-check the loop attachment to the lift before every transfer. This shows the sling loop incorrectly positioned on top of the hook guard rather than in the bottom of the hanger bar hook. This shows the sling loop caught on the end of the hook guard rather than in the bottom of the hanger bar hook. The crossed loop method of positioning the leg supports will be shown in this demonstration. Before transferring the client, check the care plan to find out how many staff members are required, which size sling, and which method of connecting the sling to the hanger bars is to be used. Inspect the lift and sling to make sure they are undamaged and in good working order. Explain the procedure to the client and have the client turn to the side. Helping is needed. Position the sling under the client with the colored handles on the outside of the sling. Place the leg supports under the client's legs, being sure not to twist or fold the leg supports. Open the base of the lift to its widest position and move the lift into position with the hanger bar assembly above the client's stomach. Connect the sling loops to the hanger bar hooks to transfer the client in the desired sitting, half-sitting, or lying position. The sitting position is shown here, with the shoulder loops connected to the hanger bar hooks in the loop closest to the sling and the leg loops in the farthest loop from the sling. Double-check the sling connection to the lift. Leaving the brakes unlocked, lift the client about 2 inches off of the bed. Back the client away from the bed and lower the client so his or her feet are at the top of the base of the lift. Slowly turning the lift, move the client over the wheelchair until the client's buttocks are against the backrest, adjusting the angle of the wheelchair slightly if needed. Lower the client until the shoulder and leg loops are loose. Unhook the sling loops from the hanger bar hooks. Back the lift away from the wheelchair and remove the sling. The crossed leg support method of positioning the leg supports will be shown in this demonstration. Before transferring the client, check the care plan to find out how many staff members are required, which size sling, and which method of connecting the sling to the hanger bars is to be used. Inspect the lift and sling to make sure they are undamaged and in good working order. Explain the procedure to the client and have the client bend forward, helping as needed. If a client is stiff or can't help the staff member bend himself or herself forward, additional staff may be necessary to support the client. Position the sling behind the client with the colored handles on the outside of the sling. Tuck the sling under the client's buttocks until the bottom center of the sling is over the client's coccyx. Lift the client's legs and place each leg support under both legs, making sure not to twist or fold the leg supports. Open the base of the lift to its widest position and move the lift into position with the hanger bar assembly about 15 inches in front of the client's chin. Connect the sling loops to the hanger bar hooks to transfer the client in the desired sitting, half-sitting, or lying position. The half-lying position is shown here, with the shoulder loops connected to the hanger bar hooks in the middle loop and the leg loops in the closest loop to the sling. Double-check the sling connection to the lift. Leaving the brakes unlocked, lift the client about 2 inches off of the wheelchair seat and back the lift away. Slowly turning the lift, move the client to the desired position over the bed. Lower the client until the shoulder and leg loops are loose. Unhook the sling loops from the hanger bar hooks. Back the lift away from the bed and remove the sling. If a client is found on the floor or has fallen, a nurse must assess the client for injury before transferring him or her using the lift. If injuries are present that might be aggravated, the Vanderlift may not be used. Select the appropriate size sling. Inspect the lift and sling to make sure they are undamaged and in good working order before beginning the transfer. At least 2 staff members should be present. Place a pillow under the client's head and position the sling under the client, making sure both leg supports are crossed under the client's legs. Open the base of the lift to its widest position. Pick up the client's feet and slowly move the lift into position with the client lying diagonally between the legs of the lift. The client's knees should be close to the base of the lift and the client's head should be toward the open end. Lower the lift as close to the floor as it will go. Connect the end shoulder and leg support loops to the hanger bar hooks. Double-check the sling connection to the lift. Leaving the brakes unlocked, lift the client until his or her feet are at the top of the base of the lift and continue the transfer. In order to promote comfort for clients, to decrease physical stress for staff, and to speed the toileting process for both, it is preferable if clients who prefer to wear pants wear adaptive pants when they are no longer able to do standing transfers. Examples are pants with extended zippers on both side seams or pants with a back flap that extends from side seam to side seam. Refer to adaptive clothing catalogs for ideas. Adjust the client's pants by unzipping the side zippers and rolling the back of the pants toward the client's buttocks, or open the back flap of the pants. Place the sling behind the client with the bottom of the sling approximately 1 inch above the top of the pants and undergarments. Position the leg supports as in previous demonstrations. open the base of the lift to its widest position and move the lift into position. Connect the sling to the hanger bar hooks for a sitting transfer. Leaving the brakes unlocked, lift the client about 2 inches off of the bed and back the lift away. Move the client over the toilet or commode. Adjust the client's clothing if necessary, and lower the client onto the toilet or commode. Lock the brakes. Leave the sling attached securely to the lift, with the lift in front of the client. Never leave the client unattended during the toileting procedure. After the client is finished, readjust the client's clothing if necessary. Lift the client approximately 2 inches off of the toilet or commode and help with pericare as needed. Unlock the brakes and back the lift away. Transfer the client to the desired location and refasten the client's clothing. When slings are soiled or contaminated, they should be laundered with mild detergent in cold or warm water only. Do not use bleach, as it can weaken the stitching and fabric. Slings may be tumble-dried on the delicate temperature cycle in the dryer. If your facility's dryer does not have a delicate cycle, slings should be hung to air dry, as heat will damage the padding in the sling. It is important that the nursing and laundry departments are instructed to care for slings correctly. A nurse or professional rehabilitation staff member is required to inspect all Vanderlift slings for signs of damage, for loose and missing stitching, and for tears and excessive wear that might cause them to fail at least monthly. If a sling is damaged or overly worn, it must be replaced with an undamaged sling. A permanent record of each of these inspections and action taken should be kept by the facility. See the monthly Vanderlift Sling Inspection Checklist at the back of the Vanderlift manual, or contact your distributor for a copy. Qualified maintenance staff are required to inspect all VanCare lifts at least monthly for missing parts and excessive wear that might cause the lift to fail. A permanent record of each of these inspections and repairs made should be kept by the facility. See the monthly Vanderlift Inspection Checklist at the back of the Vanderlift Operation Manual, or contact your distributor for a copy. When the Vanderlift is soiled, it may be wiped clean with a damp cloth and mild detergent. The Vanderlift should never be cleaned in a shower, as water can damage the electronics in the base of the lift. Damage caused by failure to follow this cleaning procedure is not covered under the warranty.